Leslie. Welcome back to my cross stitch channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you and sharing what I've been cross stitching for the past 2 weeks. And there are about 4 projects that I've been working on. And the first one is a project by Dimensions. It's their gold collection called Cherry Blossom Creek. And this is 15 by 10 inches and cross stitched on 16 count pale blue Ada fabric. The fabric is very soft, very nice to work with. And before I show you what I've cross stitched, I'm going to show you a picture of what this cross stitch project looked like the last time I showed it to you. So here's the picture. And this is what I've cross stitched. I haven't cross stitched a lot. I haven't worked a lot on this particular project, but I've managed to come here. So I have the margins here ready. And I've cross-stitched these green bushes, or maybe it's not a bush, it's probably grass, and the flowers, the blue flowers and the pink flowers. And here is, this part here is only cross-stitched with full crosses, and there's probably one blend of color in the greenery here. It's not so very hard, it's not very challenging, but it's not easy either because gold collection is, they're not really, gold collections are not very hard, but sometimes they can be, but this one isn't. There's a lot of half cross stitch going on here, like the road here, the path here is half a cross stitch and the water is half a cross stitch. It's mostly the stones here, the rocks, and flowers with the grass. They are cross stitched with full crosses, but there's a lot of half cross stitch here. And I still have a lot left. Probably not going to be able to cross stitch this full picture at the end of this year. I'm probably gonna have to cross stitch next year as well. But I really would like to come and cross stitch this beautiful tree here. The pink colors are very beautiful. So this was it for this one. The next project that I've been working on, let me just put this away. This is also a kit by Dimensions. And this is a fairly new, it's not very new, but it's not old. This was made in 2018. And this is 9 by 12 inches. Cross-stitched on like a beige, light beige 14 count fabric. And this fabric, Ada fabric, this is very stiff. Whereas this one is very soft. So I don't understand why Dimensions would make some, would include some Ada fabric that is very stiff and other fabric in other kits is very soft. This is very strange for me. I would rather it be more softer. But the good thing, the plus side of a hard fabric like this is that the crosses get to be very even, neat, and they look almost the same on a harder fabric than on a softer fabric. And before I show you what I've cross-stitched, I'm going to show you a picture of what this cross-stitch project looked like the last time I showed it to you. So here's the picture. And this is what I've cross-stitched. I've been working on her tank top, and I am not completely finished. I'm not done with the straps that's going to be here. I have to do them, like this part here, the straps. They're not finished. Haven't had a chance to finish them. Then her hair is going to be here, and her hand and arm is going to be here. But I really like to cross stitch with yellow colors. I love yellow colors. And there are like 3 or 4 different shades of yellow here. And there's a blend, here on the sides, where it's a bit darker. It's a blend of yellow and like light brown. And of course you have the dots here, the polka dots. And I haven't done her back stitching yet. It's gonna be back stitching on her skirt, on her belt, and of course on the tank top. So probably my next move is gonna be to make her arms, to cross stitch her arms, and then this part, her face, and it's gonna be very difficult, I presume, because on this is quite easy. This is not a problem to cross stitch. but I'm betting that her face is going to be very challenging, and probably these flowers as well. But I'm up for a challenge, so we'll see. I like cross-stitching. This is very fun. At least the skirt and the tank top was really, really fun to cross-stitch. So moving on. Next project. Now this is also by Dimensions. This is an oldie kit. This was made in 2002, and this was made in USA, whereas this is made in China, and this is made in USA. And this is cross-stitched on black Aida fabric. And if you can read here, it says 14 count black Aida fabric. But when I cross-stitch, I don't feel like this is a 14 count. It's more like a 16 count, or something in between 16 and 14. This doesn't feel as like 14 count for me, this kind of fabric. But the fabric is very soft. I like it. But it is challenging to cross-stitch on black. But the more I cross-stitch on black fabric, the more I get used to it and the easier it gets. And it's so important to have a really good lamp when you cross-stitch on black. And let me just show you the floss before I move on and show you what I've cross-stitched. This is the floss. And in this particular kit had this organizer, which I don't like. Because it's just so, it's very, very, let me say, light paper that's gonna break easily. So I opted for this organizer that I have at home. This is just plastic, and it's very hard plastic. And just look at the colors. I just love, black fabric is great for when you want to cross stitch with very bright colors, because it really pops on black. And before I show you what I cross-stitched, let me just show you a picture of what this cross-stitch project looked like the last time I showed it to you. So here's the picture. And this is what I cross-stitched. I've been working on her, continuing working on her skirt, this first African lady, and I've cross-stitched her hand and a little bit of her arm, and she has a bracelet and like a ring. And then I did the back stitching on these flowers on her skirt, and I also done cross-stitched a little bit of this background. And this is cross-stitched, oh excuse me, something fell down. This is cross-stitched the background with half a cross-stitch using one strand of floss, whereas everything else is cross-stitched with a full cross-stitch with using two strands here. And let me just show you. I don't know if you can see it, but her bracelet, for the bracelet, I had to use like a blend, a color blend with like a metallic floss and usual floss, cotton floss. I don't know if it's seen, but what I used is I used one strand of this one and one strand of, I think it's this one. And I am so pleased with what's coming up here. It's very beautiful. Just the colors pop on black. I love it. And I'm going to continue cross-stitching her blouse here. And the belt. And the jewelry. And then maybe make my way to this African lady. And the third one. And I love it. I think that it's not so very complicated. It's fun. I like it. Moving on to the last project. And this is not a kit. This is a chart, which I purchased on 123stitch.com. And this was by Leela Studio. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. This is a Quaker, a summer Quaker. Let me just show you a little bit closer. It has a lot of different details in there. And this is the first time I've actually been cross-stitching a Quaker. So it's so exciting. It's so interesting. I love it. And before I used, she cross-stitched this one on I think it was even weave, 40 count or something like that. I opted for a 16 count Ada fabric, white, and I use DMC floss. And before I show you what I cross stitched, let me just show you the picture of what this cross stitch project looked like the last time I showed it to you. So here's the picture. And this is what I've cross stitched. I am almost done with the lower part here. The only thing that I haven't finished is here. So this part here is not finished, and when it's finished, then all of this lower part is done. So I'm not really completely finished here. So I need to do it here like I did here. Then this part here is finished. And this is so fun to cross stitch. I love it. These are a little bit different colors. This is more like dark navy, whereas this is just something in between blue gray, something like that. And then I cross stitched also these small details here, like you have the shrimp and you have a fish and you have flowers and stuff like that, and the letter because it's gonna spell out summer. And excuse me, I've also done like the lower part of the border here. Let me just see, like the frame here. I've done it here. So I'm planning to either start cross stitching upwards here, this part, which is going to be here, or cross stitch from this side upwards, this place here. So I think that I'm planning to cross stitch this middle part here, which is going to be somewhere here. The last thing I do is probably going to be this part here. So I want to cross stitch like the frame first and go on to the middle part. So I am really looking forward to cross stitching this one. This is really fun to cross stitch. So this is I'm probably going to purchase more Quakers because this is really fun. And I've also found out one thing. If you look at the preview here, let me just show you. The preview, the person who cross-stitched the preview made a mistake. Look at this one, this Quaker here. If you see here, you have this little branch here, but nothing here. But if you follow the instructions, if you follow the chart meticulously, you're gonna have, excuse me. If you follow the chart, you will see that there's two of them. Whereas the person who cross-stitched the preview did a poor job and missed one. But the chart does have both of them, and I did cross-stitch both of them. And I think it looks so much better. It looks more symmetrical when you have both of them. I think it looks so much better than what's on the preview. Don't you agree? Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about my cross stitch projects? Leave me a comment, like, subscribe, and as usual, I'll show you a little bit of Stockholm. And if you know that Stockholm is like situated on 14 islands. So 14 islands is what Stockholm is made of. And of course we have like public transportation, like the subway and the tram and the buses, but we also like not boats, but like smaller ships that go from island to island. And this is, you don't have to pay extra. It's like part of the fee. If you like to buy a ticket for a monthly ticket, you can use all of the public transport, like bus, train, and commuter trains, and even those ships to get from one island to the other one. So I just filmed a little bit of what Stockholm looks like when you're traveling by a ship from one island to another. So I hope you like it, and I hope you subscribe, because there's lots more to come. So I'll see you soon in my next video. Have a great day. Bye bye.